Hi, my name is Ted Floor, System Consultant with InSource. Today we're going to talk about Wonderware Auto Build, which is a utility that lets me automatically create the Wonderware databases, the Wonderware tags, the Wonderware objects directly from the PLC code that I've already written. You know, one of the issues that we have in a PLC HMI environment in doing that development is we need to develop our code, which is we're going to develop those structures in the PLC, we're going to develop those tags in the PLC, and we're going to need to link those up to the Wonderware side inside the objects or the tags. So as you can see on the screen, the system's going to automatically create this tank object for me, or these tank objects directly from the structures that I have in my PLC. Because of the PLCs nowadays are symbolically addressed, I can use that symbol name to link into the structures in the PLC. So there's no additional I/O addressing that needs to happen. So once these objects are created, it loads them into my configuration editor inside my IDE. I have the ability to go in at the master template. Let's say I have 50 of these tanks. I can go through at the master template, assign a graphic to it. If I want to add some faceplates and things like that to it, I can do this at the master template level. This auto build utility is part of the OI server configuration. So if I drill into the OI configuration for an Allen Bradley CIP processor here, and I look at the auto build tab here, I have the ability to link to an online PLC or to an offline configuration file. In this case, I'm going to look at the offline configuration file that I previously have here. I'm going to point it to the specific galaxy I want to dump this configuration to. And I just basically say next. It's going to tell me if there's any errors there, and I go next. And you can see here's the structures that are inside that PLC that I can pick which ones that I want to bring in and create objects with. So let's explore using the online mode. I have a processor connected to my network that has some simulation code. So I'm going to go to the online mode. I pick a galaxy that I want to dump the configuration into. I hit next. It's going to see if there's any errors and warnings. There's not. So it found this tank system here inside my system. So if I drill into that, it shows me all the attributes. There's a pump and there's a level and there's a couple valves associated with this tank system. And it shows me all the instances. This is a user-defined data type inside the ControlLogix PLC that I'm going to use this to create the references for me inside my Wonderware application. So now I'm going to start the building process, which is actually going to go out, connect to the PLC over the network, and start importing the templates and the objects that it finds in the PLC and create a corresponding object inside the Wonderware database, inside the Galaxy. So you can see it's going through that process right now. This is real time, so no time lapse here, so you can actually see how long it's going to take to create 42 instances of this tank system that we're bringing in from the PLC and create the corresponding objects on the Wonderware side. So it's just about finished now. And build complete. So now I'm back in the IDE. We'll be able to see what it built. So if I look down here, this auto build area, it created this auto build area and it brought in all those different tank systems. If I drill into one of these tanks, it's going to have all the I/O that were defined inside that PLC for a tank. So there is my levels, my transfer pumps, my valves, all that configuration, all that same structure I have in my PLC. It got automatically linked in and created all these tank systems for me on the Wonderware side. So now what I did, I took those tanks, those 40 tanks, moved them to a running engine out there and deployed those out there. And it's going to automatically connect up to the references that I have in the PLC. There's no other work I need to do. So let's go add a graphic to these tanks and be able to see some live data. Because of the Wonderware object-oriented technology, it created all these instances of the tanks, but it also created a template up here. So if I go and edit this template that got created automatically for me, I can go embed a graphic in that, and the graphic will be inherited by all the children in this structure. So I'm going to open up this graphic that I just named called My Tank System. It's blank. I'm going to embed a graphic that I previously created. It took me a few minutes to create this graphic from our standard library of symbols. So I'm going to stick that on the screen, and then this will be inherited by all the children because I'm doing it at the master template level. So when I created this graphic, I had to link it to the object. I had to link the animations to the object. And in the custom properties of this tank system, you can see I'm pointing this to me.lito1_PV. The me dot is a very generic placeholder. When I instantiate that and make multiple instances of this tank, it's going to replace that with that instance. So when I save and close this object, you're going to see it's going to push the graphic down to all the children, all 40 tanks. So that's the beauty of our child-parent relationship and our object-oriented technology, where I can make a change at the master level and it's going to push that change down to all the instances. So the auto build utility created the objects for me. I dropped a graphic. Let's go look at some of the graphics inside my InTouch application. So if I go pick tank 10, there's an associated graphic that's automatically linked up to my PLC. If I want to go look at, say, tank number 20, it also has that same graphic that's automatically linked up because of our object-oriented approach. I'm going to add some other things here. I'm just going to say duplicate that, and I have the ability here to go change the instance. So I'm going to point to an alternate instance. I'm going to point that to tank 30. I'll do the same here. I'll duplicate this guy and I'll point him to an alternate instance. Let's go to point him to tank number 40. Now if I go to runtime, you're going to see that this data is coming live directly from my PLC. I have simulated data in my PLC. I have 40 of the tanks. I'm showing 4 of them here. But how cool is that? That I very quickly pointed directly into the structures in my PLC, dropped a graphic in there that's very generic. I connect automatically to my PLC and I have live data. This whole process probably took 10 or 15 minutes in real time. I also have some faceplates embedded in these graphics so I can drill into these pumps. So very easily you can bring data in directly from your PLC, do a little massaging of the data, add some graphics to it, and voila, you're up and running without having to go through and import a lot of tags and create the tags by hand on the Wonderware side. I truly think this is a game changer for Wonderware to be able to do this. I wish I had a tool like this back when I was doing projects and we had to do a lot of this by hand, where we had to develop our PLC code and we had to create all the tags and everything on the HMI by hand. We did have some utilities using Excel and things like that, but by no means was it as easy as pointing to my structures in my PLC, extracting those structures, and automatically have it create my instances at the Wonderware level and push a button, automatically links up to those references, and I'm good to go. So if you want to take it to the next level and use our new OMI, our 2017 version, you can use this tool, this auto build, to create these objects and layer in the new graphics. This is our situational awareness graphics, and you can see these are all made for touchscreens. I can pan and zoom, I can swipe to go to my next storage tab, right or left. So all this functionality makes it a lot easier to build your HMI application. With auto build, it lets you create these applications much easier. Well, thank you for watching today. If you have any additional questions about what you saw in this video, please contact me at the email address on the screen. Thanks again.